Shalom and welcome back to Project 613. Today we are going to look at 14 different mitzvos. Continuing on the theme from yesterday, talking about idolatry, we are going to begin with the mitzvah of a mesis. It is a negative command. It's a prohibition against someone approaching even one other person to try to convince them to worship idols. Even if they are unsuccessful, it is strictly forbidden. Biblical prohibition. There are 5 mitzvos regarding the mesis, regarding the idolatrous influencer or inciter, of how we have to behave to such a person. Number 1, do not love him. That's an exception to the general rule of having Avos Yisrael, love of a fellow Jew. This person is not included in that mitzvah. You shall not listen to him, which means you don't reduce your negative feelings towards him. You may say, oh, let's have pity, compassion. You shall not listen to the mesis, to the idolatrous inciter. Additionally, the Torah tells us, do not pity him. Normally, when someone is in mortal danger, we have a very important mitzvah to help that person. And in this case, this mitzvah would not apply to the mesis, to the idolatrous inciter. Additionally, the Torah says, you shall not spare him. This is referring to court proceedings. The person who is allegedly being influenced by the inciter should not try to justify the mesis, the idolatrous inciter, or express anything positive about him or try to defend him in court. Such a person is dealt with in a very strict and harsh manner. And finally, nor you shall not cover up for him. You shall not conceal any information, any evidence that may be helpful, may be used against him in court. Those are the laws regarding the mesis, the inciter. Moving on to idolatrous prophecies. The verse talks about a prophet speaking in the name of another god, and that includes 2 different prohibitions. Number 1, it is forbidden for a prophet to claim that Hashem commanded him to tell the people they should worship a pagan deity. That is strictly prohibited and forbidden to claim, for a prophet to claim that Hashem said you should worship a foreign object. It is also forbidden for a prophet to claim that a foreign deity appeared to him commanding us to worship it. Such a thing would be strictly forbidden for a prophet to do. Obviously, it's nonsense. It is also forbidden to listen to this idolatrous prophet. Meaning to say, if someone comes and claims such a prophecy, we don't try to debate him. We don't give that false prophet a chance to say, let's be fair. Let's give him a chance to prove that he's real. Give him the chance to perform a miracle or to verify himself. We stop him right away and we warn him that he must stop or face the penalty. Another mitzvah about false prophets is a false prophecy in the name of Hashem. And it's forbidden for a prophet to claim that Hashem said something when that is not really the case. And included in this is even if the information is true, but the prophecy was not given to that specific prophet, it was given over to a different prophet. It would be a prohibition for a prophet to say that Hashem told him something when that is not really the case, even if the information is true. We then have a command, a mitzvah, not to fear a false prophet. Don't be afraid of a false prophet. Say, we can't bring them to court. We can't say anything against them. They're holy. They're on a different level than us. We must deal with the false prophet accordingly, and we should not be afraid to do so. We also have a mitzvah where it's forbidden to swear in the name of a false god. Interestingly, included in this mitzvah is using an idol or an idolatrous location as a reference. Meaning, hey, do you want to meet up near such and such an idolatrous place of worship? It should not be used as a landmark. We then have another mitzvah, a prohibition against going in the ways of Ov and Yidoni. Ov and Yidoni are 2 different types of idolatrous practices, and Ov, more specifically, Ov was served by offering sacrifices to this deity and behaving in ways known to that group, and then pretending to hear voices coming out of an armpit answering their questions. Yidoni was an ancient practice where there was a bird that was called Yidua. They would take a bone from that bird, insert it into their mouth, and say certain formulas and perform certain rituals that were known to that group, and then get into a transcendent state and predict the future. Those are idolatrous practices, and it's forbidden to engage in those. And finally, it is forbidden for for a parent to give their child over to Molech. This was an ancient barbaric ritual where priests would pass a child over the fire for the purposes of worshiping their idols. There are many more details about these mitzvos, and you can always look up more information in Maimonides in Rambam. Looking forward to sharing more information with you tomorrow.